But another question you can ask is, given the same S, what am I willing to spend if my option is S goes to 0? To avoid S going to 0. So let's say I'm faced with a major disease, and if I spent enough resources of my own, I can, let's say, eliminate that risk of that disease, at least for a while. Suppose that was true. How much am I willing to spend to do it? All right, well, the same analysis is relevant, but now you have to think of this not as a marginal change in S, but some integral over all these marginal changes, right? And it may be that integral is going to have it's going to be all your will. You can't spend more than you have, right? So your upper limit is your will. So let me put it in a context here. Phillipson, Murphy, and I have a paper on exactly this problem. People at older ages, how much are people willing to spend for modest improvements in their life expectancy? Let's say they can take a drug that can increase their life expectancy by 6 months. How much is that worth to them? Say they're 85 and they have a disease, they have a cancer. The new drug just came out for prostate cancer, a vaccine. It's a revolution, I think. But what it does so far, as far as they can estimate, it, on the average, increases these is for people with serious prostate cancer. Everything else doesn't work, and it increases their life expectancy on the average in their sample group by 4 months. It costs $100,000 a year to take that drug. Are people willing to spend it? All right. So some people say, well, what's 4 months? Right. I mean, on the other hand, if it's 4 months or nothing, and you're not leaving money to anybody, a lot of people say, well, let me throw everything, I mean, more or less, in it. It leaves you something for me to consume, but throw everything in. Then I'm willing to spend a lot. So it can vary with the type of risk you're facing. And to the extent that your willingness to pay, and we would expect that from this analysis more or less, the extent that your willingness to pay varies as S varies. It will be a function of S, particularly if you think of percentage changes in S. In this analysis it doesn't, but in percentage change in S, and it will vary. So we conclude that people may be willing to pay a lot for just small extensions in their life expectancy. And one reason is about it. Even if they had heirs, they might be willing to pay a lot. But we get it out of this type of statistical value of life, but it has to be more sophisticated. So it's a good question, an important question. It hasn't really been answered in the literature.